now? Awesome, awesome. So how are you guys liking the event so far? You loving it? Awesome. I'm going to show you how to take your story and take the video that you've now created and get traffic to it. That's what I'm an expert at. That's what I love to do. I started about 4 years ago in my parents' basement, creating these little 3 to 4 minute grainy little videos, throwing them up on YouTube, and getting traffic to them. And to be here on stage speaking to you guys for the first time ever is pretty amazing. So I'm excited to give you guys just a bunch of value here. We're going to have a lot of fun, and let's go ahead and get started here. So let's see if we can get this thing going. So there's my nice little mug there. Thanks to beautiful Tanya Willis over here. So let me just tell you real quick about my story. In 2006, I went off to college to play baseball. We got any baseball fans? People are going to watch the World Series? Awesome. So I went off to college to play baseball in 2006, and I pretty much did what most people do after they graduate from high school. They obviously go to college. That's what I did. That's what I was told to do. So we tend to kind of just follow the crowd and do what everybody else is doing. So I went off to college to play baseball in 2006 for about a year, and believe it or not, in my dorm room one night, I discovered online marketing, just doing a little bit of research. So I started asking myself questions like, you know, is college really what I should be doing? Is, you know, getting a degree and working for somebody else for the next 40 to 60 years something that I want to do? Not that college is bad, but I started looking at where I was at and where I wanted to be. And I started asking myself a lot of questions that most people don't ask, right? Like, what do I want to specialize in? Who do I want to be at the end of the day? What type of purpose do I want to have in my life? And so when I started asking myself to make on the world, it really led to me doing some research and simply just one night jumping online and discovering this amazing industry. You know, we often see on Facebook, you know, people traveling the world, they're living the laptop lifestyle, they have freedom, they're making an impact, and they're getting paid what they're worth. And that's truly what I wanted to do. So that sort of began my journey online. See if we can get the next slide to pop up. So I discovered some online marketing, obviously doing some research in my apartment one night. And in 2008, I finally made the leap of faith. And I jumped off the bridge to really get in depth and learn this online marketing skill, right? But I knew that I had to fund that. And the way that I funded that was I got a job at a jewelry store, a very large jewelry chain in America. You guys are probably familiar with Jared. You see the crazy Jared commercials, right? Well, that was me, and that's what I did for nearly 7 years. Was I sold jewelry, and I, you know, would jump online after I'd come home from a long day of work, and I would just do research. I would soak up information, just like a lot of you guys are doing today. So I bought about, I would say, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of information over the course of my career. And within the first 5 years, I did CPA marketing, I did SEO, I bought and sold websites, I did e-commerce, I pretty much did everything under the sun. And unfortunately, I didn't have access to the training and the tools and the resources and the mentors that we have today. So I really want you guys to see the value that you have with Digital Altitude. You have something truly special here, and it's something that I didn't have when I first got started. Being able to connect with people on Facebook and connect with your mentors and come to events. That didn't exist back then. And so I really saw the value eventually, you know, in opportunities like this because of the struggle that I went through. So a lot of times you got to dig for that gold and dig for that gold and dig for that gold before you finally find the gold. But unfortunately, most people quit. And that's exactly what the problem is. So in 2010, I actually attempted to quit my job. And I quit my job for one summer, and I worked construction for my dad. So I kind of did that part-time, and I did this gig full-time. I started diving into CPA marketing, right? Unfortunately, I didn't have the mindset. You know, John talked about mindsets this morning, and that's imperative and so important to your success on the internet. So, let's see if we can get this to pull up here. So, in 2010, I ended up trying this thing for a summer. I fell flat on my face, had no success whatsoever, made a couple dollars here and there, but really didn't have any breakthroughs because I was still constantly looking for that get-rich-quick type of way of making money online. I soon realized that that didn't exist. And it nearly took me 5 years to really figure that out. So in 2012, after learning all these different marketing methods and trying a bunch of different things and falling flat on my face, I realized that it wasn't necessarily the things that I was trying. It wasn't the opportunities that I was trying that was keeping me from success. It was my own limiting beliefs. I thought I believed on the surface that I could do this, but deep down inside, I didn't believe it. But the thing that I did is I stuck around long enough to find that out. And later in 2012, I got involved with the SEO. And I started creating websites. And I started ranking them at the top of Google. And I was at a point where I had about 70 websites that I created over time. And I ranked all these websites at the top. I'd write the copy. I'd write the articles. I'd create the websites. And I did this every single day. I had one website that was making about $5 a week. And I thought, you know what, if I make 100 of these websites, that's going to replace my full-time income. I'm going to be able to quit my job, and I'll be able to travel the world. So I had about 70 websites that were ranking at once. And in about April 2012, Google had one of their crazy animal, panda, penguin updates. And I literally lost my rankings overnight. So this is someone that tried to quit their job once, fell flat on my face, got up, I kept going, I put in all this work, and yet again, I lose everything that I have. So I'm thinking, you know, what am I going to do next? You know, I was sick and tired of answering to other people, and I think just the fact that I would rather literally put a gun to my head than work for somebody else for the rest of my life. And I think that gave me enough drive to keep going. I didn't want to be complacent. So after that whole thing happened, I still kept at it. I still kept doing research. I still kept soaking up information. I still had no mentorship whatsoever at this point. I was still figuring everything out on my own. So I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know who to ask, you know, advice from. And later in December 2012, I finally switched over to YouTube SEO. So everything that I learned about SEO and you know, buying and selling websites and doing e-commerce and all these different things sort of finally aligned. And I realized that I struggled for so long, but it was also a blessing in disguise because it finally led me to a point where I saw the value in something and I saw it as gold and I took massive action on it. After spending thousands of dollars, after struggling and struggling, tried to quit my job once, fell flat on my face, got back up, kept going, fell again, and I finally discovered YouTube SEO. So at that point, I had a lot of knowledge, and I finally developed the mindset that I needed to be able to finally create success in my life. And so December 2012, I discovered YouTube SEO, and I really never looked back since then. What I would do is I'd go to work. I'd work, you know, a 9 to 12-hour shift, depending on if it was the holidays or not. I'd come home. I'd go in my parents' basement, right? I lived with my parents at the time. And it was a super dark room. You're going to be able to see some videos in just a second, just some examples of what I did. And these are completely amateur videos, guys. I had never shot a video in my life. I had a huge fear of shooting videos. I never thought I'd be in front of you right now, being able to speak and show you guys this method, and it's a dream come true. So in 2013, I had my first $1,000 day. I was actually at work, and I probably should have not done this at work, but I would constantly go back in the back room, and I'd pull out my cell phone, and I'd hit refresh on my account. And one day I saw a $1,000 commission come through. And that really gave me that really instilled the first belief that, wow, I can do this. This is possible. And to be somebody that was trading time for money, making, you know, $15 an hour, and grinding it out and having all this pressure to perform and being able to make that with 15 minutes of work off of one video was pretty incredible. So all I knew is I had to just simply replicate that. right? I found something that worked, I tested it, and I kept testing it until I found a proven formula. Once I found that proven formula, it was game over. That's all I did all day, every day. So I had my first $1,000 day online, and then in December of actually 2013, I don't know if this slide's up here, but 2013, I had my first $5,000 month. And that was actually during the holidays. So I was working about 60 to 70 hours a week, you know, making right around $3 to $4 grand at my job, and I literally made $5,000 in 1 month in my online business, right? But there was still a fear inside me, right? I was afraid that if I quit my job, would I still be able to maintain this type of income? So I still kept at it. So later in 2014, I actually had my first $10,000 month, okay? Had my first $10,000 month online, and that was huge. I remember having a specific conversation with another guy that worked at the jewelry store, and he asked me, "Why are you still working here, man? What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'll be honest, you know, I'm not sure if I quit this, I'm going to be able to achieve the same success. I don't know if I'm going to make as much as I'm making here." And so I finally made a decision in October 2014 to fully just quit my job. I jumped in head first, and I made $10,000 the next month. And then I made $10,000 a month after that. And ever since then, I've made over 5 figures per month. And in 2015, I had a $12,000 day, and I made about $10,000 a month throughout that year, right? And that was really a turning point for me because it became less about the money and it became more about impacting people, right? I think, you know, our vision changes as we go along in our lives. So the first thing that I just wanted to do, as selfish as it was, I wanted to quit my job. But it took the right mentality to do that. And I finally did that. And ever since then, I've obviously been making a five figures a month. And in 2016, just recently, I had my biggest month at $37,000 working this very part-time while traveling. So I'm personal proof that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be amazing on video. You don't have to be some famous public speaker or some celebrity to be successful with video. And I think Travis depicted it perfectly that you don't need some high production crew to start shooting videos. It's all about taking action. So this is kind of my income report right here. Of course, results not typical. I don't like to show this to say, hey, look at me, look at the success I'm having. But I want to show you guys what is truly possible when you finally make a decision and you stick at it and you commit, you burn your bridges, and you just jump in head first. Because you're going to dive off a cliff and you're not going to know, you know, what you're doing on the way down, but you just got to trust. You got to trust in your coaches. You got to trust in your mentors, right? So enough about my story. Oh, by the way, I got my dream car paid for by Digital Altitude. Got a brand new BMW 650i, which is awesome, right? So dreams do come true. Formula. You guys ready for this formula? You guys excited? It's enough about me. This is about you guys. So I like to call this my YouTube selling system. I've obviously been able to master this, use it, leverage it to make a multiple six-figure income with nothing but a smartphone and my laptop. That's it. And believe it or not, early on in my business, all I used was my web camera. Okay? So there's really no excuse as to why you guys can't start doing this. And it's really about taking that first action and just picking that camera up and just saying something, right? Regardless of what you're learning from this event or a life experience, a life lesson that you have, it's about taking that first step. It's not so much about the technical stuff, but it's about the mindset. Because once you have the mindset, all the technical stuff becomes easy and second nature. So why video and why YouTube, right? According to Cisco, which is a very reliable source, by 2009, they're predicting that 80% of the traffic online is going to be video, okay? The third largest website and the second largest search engine online is YouTube. So think about what you do every day when you jump online. You know, you start at Google or you start at YouTube. Not only that, you're going to want your information faster and faster and faster over time. So what are you going to do? Are you going to look at an article, or are you going to go to a YouTube video? More and more people every single day are actually jumping on YouTube, and they're typing in, how can I build a business online, right? How can I get rid of my acne? How can I get rid of wrinkles? What is the best price on a 4K TV, right? These are all different terms that people are typing in. Also, growth in watch time on YouTube has accelerated and is up at least 50% year after year over the past 3 years, and it's only going to grow, right? And not to mention, YouTube traffic is the most targeted traffic on the internet. Imagine having somebody type in a certain keyword phrase or a certain search term in YouTube, and you being able to be right there and give them the answer. You see, I used to sell alarm systems. I tried this out about 10 years ago, and I hated the fact of going door to door selling something to somebody that really didn't want it or didn't see the value in it, versus somebody that was going online and saying, hey, I want an alarm system. And they type it into Google. How can I avoid a burglary? What is the best alarm system out there for my home, right? So here's a few examples, right? Everyone's going to start their search either at Google or YouTube. And they're going to type in something like this. Let's say, for example, it's a woman that is getting ready for a wedding, and she wants to shed 10 pounds of fat in the next 2 weeks. So what does she do? She goes to YouTube and she types in how to shed 10 pounds of fat in the next 2 weeks, right? As you can see, these are a few examples right here. And all these videos get hundreds of thousands of views off of that search term and other search terms that they're typing in. So here's the power of this. Imagine putting up a video today and ranking it at the very top of YouTube and getting that search engine traffic for months and years to come. I really haven't created a whole lot of videos here and used this process because I have so much leverage, right? I think a true freedom business is when you have leverage in your business from start to finish, and that's what I love about YouTube. So what happens after somebody actually clicks on, right? They've typed in what they want. They click on a video. Now, how does that video actually make money? What most people will do is they'll think that most videos are make money by things like advertisements that are placed over the video. You know those advertisements where you see them and they overlay the video and you can actually skip it? That's not actually how the money's made. It can be made that way, but they make very little money. So that's one way, as well as views. But they pay I'm not sure if YouTube's still doing it, but they pay 1 cent per view to you for having an advertisement on top of your video. So that's not how the big money's made with YouTube. This is where the big money's made. If you notice in the description, this woman actually has a link straight to her website, right? So the consumers started, they typed in, how can I lose 2 pounds in 10 weeks? And then they come to this video, and they click on that link, and then they go through her sales process. And that's the process I'm going to show you today, right here, right now. So here's a few other quick examples. One of my examples right here. Part-time jobs for students. As you can see right here, I have my video at the very top. These 2 ads are paid ads. And that's me right there. I mean, look how dark that video is. I shot that with my laptop. It's got over 90,000 views, and it's still getting views today, and it's ranked at the top of YouTube. So what I do is I imagine a different scenario, and who's going to first be interested in what I have to offer, what type of person, what demographics, what do they like, what do they not like, try and put yourself in the customer's shoes and ask yourself, what would they be typing into Google and YouTube? So here's another quick example of my actual video up close. You'll see that I have my link right there in the bottom of the description, and then I send them straight to my digital altitude funnel. So that's it. It's as simple and easy as that. My cheeks are a little chubby in that video too. I think I've lost a little weight since then. So this one's been ranking for about 3 years as well. July 30th, 2013 is when I put it up, and it's got over 90,000 views today. right? So, I mean, that's the power of YouTube right there. So here's another quick example. I'll just run through this really quickly. How to make $1,000 a day online. Maybe somebody just wants to replace their full-time job income. So they'll obviously find my video in the top results, click on it, click the link in the description, go through it. This is like specific demographic-oriented work-from-home jobs in North Carolina, right? I got a video at the very top below the paid ads too as well. This one's a little bit lower. So if you go to YouTube right now, you type in my name, you're going to look and see this guy only has 1,000 subscribers. Is he really like a YouTube guru? No, I actually have like over 500 to 600 different channels that have these specific keyword terms in them. So you'll notice that this specific video right here is targeting work-from-home jobs in North Carolina. If you want to get an unfair advantage in rankings, name your channel the name of the search term that you're trying to rank for. So that's a little free tip for you right there. So how does this work really? I use a 3-step process, okay? First is research, second is create, and third is convert. So let's first start off with the research. So what we want to do is we want to discover words or phrases that people are actively typing into Google and to YouTube. And these phrases are simply called keywords, okay? And we call the process of finding out how much the search volume of what people are typing in, we identify that as keyword research, okay? So obviously here's an example of a keyword. It's a word or phrase that is just simply typed into the search engine. You know, best eye wrinkle cream reviews up here, and then we have how to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. Now, what we want to do is we'll find some keyword ideas. So this is what I would recommend that you guys do when you leave here, is sit down and think about digital altitude. Think about the product. Think about what somebody, your consumer, your ideal market, think about what they would be typing into Google and into YouTube. And you could use your own trade, what you may do as, you know, a day job or what your full-time job is, and think about what would somebody like myself, first off, be typing in. So what I did is I broke this down to a few different demographics. You have people in the MLM industry, home business owners, just general people looking to make money online, maybe replace their job. You got small businesses, and you also have coaches and consultants that would very well, you know, buy products and services and, you know, products from Digital Altitude. So what is keyword research? What people tend to do is they create an amazing video, right? High production, high quality. They put it out there on YouTube, and it doesn't get any searches whatsoever, and they wonder why. Well, just like when you build a house, you have to have the foundation. With keyword research, you have to have a very solid foundation as well. So what we want to do is we want to use tools like the Google Keyword Planner that are actually going to tell us what people are typing in before we guess, right? So a lot of people are like, well, I think somebody would be typing this into YouTube. Well, let's check it on the Keyword Planner and see if people are actually typing it in. So there's all different keyword resources, keyword research resources out there, but I don't use any of those. All I use is a little bit of intuition and the Google Keyword Planner, right? I focus on getting data first, getting a lot of data, looking at my data, and then testing and tweaking where I need to, okay? So here's an example of a keyword right here, starting an online business. This keyword gets about 1,000 to 10,000 searches per month. So that's probably a keyword that you can go for. If you rank that keyword at the top of YouTube, you're getting a lot of automated ongoing traffic. And how targeted is that traffic versus somebody that's going to Facebook and watching cat videos and getting caught up in, you know, Gary Vee videos, and love Gary Vee, of course, but you know, versus somebody that's actively on YouTube or on Google and typing something like this in, and you're there to give it to them, right? So what you want to do is you want to begin with the problem. So what we want to do is we want to take one of these markets and identify a problem that needs to be solved. So let's just take, you know, an easy one, people that just simply want to make money online. So we type in people looking to make money online, or that would actually be the example of the demographic. But they would type in how to start an online business, right? So they go to YouTube and they type in how to start an online business, right? So what we want to do is we want to not only type that into YouTube to see if there are search results and look at the views and the volume there, but we want to also type it into the Google Keyword Planner, right? So you'll notice that this says starting an online business, and right here you have all the average monthly searches for that keyword, right? So not only is it giving you results for that one keyword, but it's giving you results for other relevant keywords that are related to that keyword. I look at all these different keywords right here, and I look at them as virtual real estate. And I realize if I have more virtual real estate out there on the internet, the more money I'm going to make, and the more automated business I'm going to have, the more freedom I'm going to have in my business, right? So there are 6 very specific criteria for a profitable keyword. I want you guys to take note of this. So here's a little infographic that I kind of did live there. So first thing that you want to identify is that the keyword's long tail. You want to make sure it's a long tail keyword, right? What does that mean? You want to make sure there's at least 5 or more keywords in the keyword phrase. So if it's how to make money from home, that's an okay keyword. But what if it's how to make money from home for stay-at-home moms, right? That's super targeted. You know, obviously the gender, you know that she works from home, you know that she probably maybe has a day job and she wants to quit her day job and stay at home with her kids. Maybe she's got a husband that works, right? And these are some ideas that you can use when you actually create your videos, is really try and get in the consumer's head and figure out why are they typing that keyword in? What do they really want? Number 2, you want to catch them at the end of their search, right? So think about, you know, you got Christmas coming up in a couple months, it's actually coming pretty fast, right? And let's say somebody's looking for a brand new 4K TV by Sony. So they type in best 4K TVs of 2016, right? And they click on the first web result. And then they see a TV that's like a Sony Bravia TV, and they click on Sony Bravia TVs, and there's a bunch of other TVs that pull down, and you got the model number, right? So now you got Sony Bravia KDL XB 4K TV, right? And then they take that and they go to YouTube and they type that in. They're at the end of their search now. They're just looking for the best price on a TV. And that's where you want to catch people, right? So I find a lot of people like in the make money online industry, they start by typing in just simply how to make money online. Great keyword, but most people are still at the beginning of their search. Catch them at the very end when they're ready to make a buying decision, right? So number 3, is there a lot of pain in the market? Right? We know this market, there's a lot of pain. People want more freedom. They want to spend more time with their kids. They want to travel more, right? They're sick of their day job like myself, and they know there's more purpose into life than to work for somebody else, right? And then number 4, you want to avoid free keywords, right? Those aren't going to make any money. Any keywords that say free in them, you want to stay away from them. One of the best things that I did in my business that helped me succeed at a massive rate when I finally figured this formula out was review keywords. I started reviewing different products. Not only did I learn about these products, but I was able to learn from them and I was able to review them, which instantly positioned me as an authority, along with, you know, YouTube helped position me as an authority. Because a lot of people, when they see videos on YouTube and they're ranking at the very top, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of the content's terrible out there. But because they see somebody ranking at the top, they think that they're an authority, and they end up, a lot of times, they end up buying from them. So it works out in your favor, even if you're a newbie. So number 6, last but not least, is your product or service a solution to the keyword? Is it congruent, right? Are they looking for makeup, but they come across an online opportunity? That's not very congruent, right? So you want to make sure that you're staying congruent throughout the whole entire process. So what you'll do is you'll find a keyword that passes all 6 of those criteria, and then you'll shoot your video. So step 2 is creating your video. And this is a video that I recently created just as an example for this presentation. But it's nothing special. It's my mug just in front of my cabinets at home. But there's contrast in it, right? The lighting's decent, the message is good, and you know it's only about 4 minutes long. So if you're getting started, just start getting out there and creating videos. Start shooting 2-minute videos and then grow from there. Typically, you want your video to be as long as it needs to be, to get the message across, right? So what we want to do is we want to understand the language of our market. And this really, really helps. This changed my life in such a huge way. As I started reading and educating myself on different sales material out there. So I would go through different funnels of all kinds of different products within my niche. If you're in the health niche, what you can do is you can actually go to clickbank.com and you can check out, health products in the health niche and watch the sales videos. Look at the sales material. Look at the copy. Look at the language. Obviously, lawyers are going to speak a different language than people that are, that maybe, like doctors, right? They're all going to speak a different language. And what you want to do is you want to learn how to speak this language, the affiliate marketing language. So I've said a lot of terms throughout this presentation that you may have never heard before. But the more that you get to know these different terms, the easier it's going to be for you to really succeed within this niche, right? So second thing, I'm just going to go over this real quickly. I know Dallas went over this, but what you want to do is you want to have a story, right? What I did is I created a timeline of my life, right? And I wrote down all the events in my life, and then I took out the most important ones, and that's a template for my video, right? And I tend to, if you notice, if you go through my videos, I tend to repeat my story a lot because I find that, stories sell and facts just simply tell. So if I can tell an effective story, I can relate with my demographic, and more people are obviously going to buy from me because they relate with me, right? So let me show you how to structure your video real quickly, okay? The first and most important thing is you want to open call to action. You want to tell people what to do next. The whole purpose of your video is to drive traffic. You want to get traffic to your video, and you want to send them to your landing pages, right? That's the whole purpose of your video. Each video that you create online should have a different intention. Do I want to get this out to my current list? Am I focused on building a relationship with someone? Are they seeing me for the first time and I need to get them on my email list? So I'll typically open with a call to action and say something like, hey, this is Joshua Elder from mywebsite.com, and you came to this video because you want to learn how to make money from home. And let's say how to make money from home is my keyword, right? And then what I'll do is I will talk for about a few minutes, depending on how long the video needs to be, and I'll cover the 3 to 4 main bullet points of my keyword topic. So if you're somebody that's new and you're like, well, I have no idea what to talk about, what am I going to do? I tend to pick up a video and I shoot it and my mind just goes blank. What I started doing is I started reverse engineering. So I would look at other people's videos. I would look at other people's content. I would kind of put a spin on it. I would put it in my own words, integrate it with my story, and shoot a quick video on it. What I did when I first got started is my mentor obviously was having a lot of success with video, and I simply modeled what he was doing. So when worst comes to worst, simply just model. Find what successful people are doing and simply model them. And then, of course, you want to tell your story, wrap your story in there, use market language and terminology like we just talked about, talk about your beliefs and your vision, create trust in that relationship with them, overcome the market skepticism, and then you want to close with a call to action once again. So if you want to learn more about XYZ, go ahead and click the link below and I'll see you on the next page. So that's how all my videos are structured. So step 3, we want to convert the video, right? We want to upload, we want to optimize it. We want to rank it at the very top of YouTube. And that's what we're going to focus on right here. So there are about 12 ways to rank your videos higher in Google. I'm going to cover 7 of them in this presentation. They're the most important. If you want the other 5, you can feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, and I'll be glad to give that to you. So here are the 7 ways to get an unfair advantage and increase rankings in YouTube and even Google. What will happen, you'll notice that a lot of videos that are ranking in YouTube will begin to rank in Google as well. So first thing is you want to have a catchy title. How do I do this? Well, I'll first take the keyword that I want to go for. I'll plug it into YouTube, right? I'll look at the top 10 or 14 results. I look at the top 5 really closely because obviously if they're ranking, That means, YouTube likes them. So I'll look at those videos, and then I will simply take the ideas and model what they're doing and apply it to my title. So if it's like a top 10 list, those work really, really well, right? Like top 10 ways to start a business online, right? That would be a good example there. Number 2 is you want good on-page SEO, which we'll go over in just a second. SEO is just simply a technical term for search engine optimization. It's the idea of ranking websites and videos simply into Google and YouTube search engine, right? You also want good off-page SEO. Basically what that is, it's links that go from somebody else's website to your website, or somebody else's website to your video. Typically, the more links you have, going from like a blog or an authority site like CNN.com or Huffington Post to your video, the higher you're going to rank in Google and YouTube. Number 4, little secret, optimize your video file. So if your video file is how to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, or your keyword is how to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, you want to make sure that your video file, says the same, okay? And that will help you rank higher. Number 5, you want to create a custom thumbnail for your video. If you saw in one of the previous examples, after you type in a search term into YouTube, you'll see a list of 14 results. And a lot of times what people will do is they won't just automatically click on the first result. They might click on the 4th result because they see the thumbnail. The thumbnail stands out. Maybe the guy's doing something crazy, right? Maybe he's jumping off a cliff or, water skiing or something. I don't know, while he's doing a video. And so number 6, you want to make sure that you caption your video, which is basically the subtitles that are on YouTube videos that you see now and even Facebook videos. Those are very, very big. This also tells the search engine what your video is about, right? So number 7 is you want to embed your video on authority blogs, okay? So that's the top 7 right here. And don't forget to use the 5-step keyword qualifying process to really just jumpstart your rankings, okay? So here's kind of a visual example of what it looks like when you optimize your video file. So what I did is before I uploaded it to YouTube, I named the file, right? And I even included my title. You don't want to try and game the system and make sure that your title matches perfectly, your description matches perfectly, and you're like doing a process called keyword stuffing, which is basically stuffing your video with just the keyword over and over again. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it appears as natural as possible. So what I did in this example is I included the whole entire title of my video along with the keyword as the video file right there. Okay? So tip number 2, you want to write a description that represents a summary of your video. Okay? And this is where on-page SEO comes into play, right? You want to make sure that you include the keyword in the first and last sentence of your description. Okay, you want to include the link. You want to include, it looks like they're making me stop here. So I'll just jump ahead a little bit real quick. So you want to make sure that you include all other links in social media and in your tags. And I guess they're kicking me off stage here. But that's pretty much it. Take massive action. I love you guys. Appreciate it.
That was awesome. Let's hear it for Josh. That was awesome. And the ending.